Hello everybody, this is Daniel Lee, aka Tafukins, and we're here to do some analysis on Melee singles. And what most impressed me about Smash Summit 3 weekend was PewPewU's adjustment to the Captain Falcon matchup. And for Kevin, aka PewPewU, he's a Marth main that has traditionally struggled with Captain Falcon. And as a result, he's been an overall decent player in the first half of 2016, but what ended up happening was he kept losing to Captain Falcon, and so that's why his placements weren't very good. And even if we dated back to CEO 2015, he had a really close set with Gravy in a best-of-3 set to barely make it out of pools, but this trend kind of continued from there. So in the beginning of 2016 at Genesis 3, he lost to None early in winner's bracket, and he had to fight his way through losers. At Pound 2016, he lost to Gatsu 1-2 in a semi-decent set, and then he resorted to using Fox at Get On My Level 2016, and he still lost to None. So Captain Falcon was a big issue for PewPewU, and he struggled, but he's been practicing that matchup a lot, and a lot of things changed actually for him at Smash Summit 3, where he managed to defeat S2J 3-0. in losers bracket to qualify and not go 0-2. So what we're gonna focus on in this video is what exactly changed for PewPewU. How did he approach the matchup? What did he do differently? And how did he eventually win this match in a character matchup that he traditionally struggled with? And so to explain some key concepts here, for PewPewU's mindset, and this is a temptation for a lot of people, is they treat every character like Fox. And meaning they play the neutral, because Fox is such a common character. He's a fast bowler. He has, weight properties that are easy to combo, so you can play a mediocre neutral game, but if you get that one opening, then you can go to town with it. The issue with Captain Falcon against Marth is that if Captain Falcon gets an opening on Marth, then what ends up happening is Captain Falcon can kill Marth, so these risk rewards are very skewed. So if you make mistakes and you mess up in the neutral game, then it wreaks havoc. So the first bullet point I really want to mention for PewPewU is how he interacts with Falcon in the neutral game. And the one rule he made for himself now is he's never leading the ground unless the Falcon is immobile, meaning that he's in shield, or the Falcon overcommits to something and is in lag. So if Falcon's throwing out the first move, then PewPewU realizes, hey, I can find this opening. But if PewPewU jumps like he used to against None, and he gets caught, he can die. And so now he's playing a lot more of a balanced neutral game. And here are some clips to just really emphasize this point, where we see that sometimes that when he jumps in neutral, sometimes it works against Captain Falcon and maybe gets an opening, but we also see times where PewPewU jumps and it doesn't work out for him and he ends up getting killed. These needless, risky situations, and sometimes we're very tempted to say, hey, like, it worked once, so I should keep doing it, and we're encouraged to do that, but we have to realize, hey, when it doesn't work, it's disastrous. So that's one of the key adjustments. And when we look at the set against S2J, look at these clips here, where PewPewU is just waiting, and he's not really approaching and closing space. He's not risking much until he sees that S2J is willing to commit something, and he goes into lag, and then he goes in, and then he interacts. So he waits, he plays really patiently. And one important thing is that he's a lot better at the dash dance game. If we look here in some clips against None, what ends up happening is PewPewU turns his back against Captain Falcon, and as a result, None realizes, hey, PewPewU is running backwards, I can overshoot my hitboxes, and I can catch him in his backdash. Now, even if None doesn't get the opening off of that, it puts PewPewU and Shield in a really bad position where None opens him up. And we can see countless combos and countless clips showed here where None just takes advantage of PewPewU dashing away at inappropriate times. We also have to talk about PewPewU's willingness to just understand the limitations of Captain Falcon. A lot of people complain about the character, how fast he is, but when you can keep him grounded and keep him contained, Falcon can't really do much. And what he recognized was that when S2J is in shield, there's not really much Falcon can do, so he just waits out the shield and waits for S2J with his limited range to throw out an aerial or a hitbox out of shield, and then PewPewU goes in and punishes that. So it's a lot of waiting, a lot of going up, forcing S2J to be uncomfortable, and then once he realizes that S2J has to do something, then he goes in and swoops in and does a lot of damage. I also have to make a key point here. PewPewU's punish game, PewPewU's recovery has always been good, and that's what kind of has kept him close over the years. But I have to point out the punish game approach that PewPewU has. He's vicious on the tech chase, and he's opting to throw Falcons with forward throw and tech chase so that he keeps Falcon immobile and racks up damage. And only when he realizes, hey, I can get a guaranteed follow-up off of an up throw instead of a forward throw or a down throw, I'm not gonna commit to that. And so his combo game was a lot more abusive of Falcon and just making sure that Falcon cannot move. And so that was a really impressive aspect of PewPewU's punish game and adjustment. So mostly, to kind of sum it up, PewPewU was doing a lot of things to not commit, to not jump, because the risk reward is so massive. And if you mess up once against Captain Falcon, you can die. Whereas, you know, if you do that against Fox, you can kind of gamble, because if you get the hit, you can kill. Fox, generally speaking, does not get the kill off an opening. They win neutral game a lot, and then they slowly wither you down, keeping positioning and control and momentum. Falcon can just kill you, and PewPewU realized that. Now, it's fair to say that SCJ made a lot of mistakes. He started off with an early SD in game 1, and that kind of set the tone for the matchup. And so SCJ, I have to say that that wasn't the best set I saw from him. But also, PewPewU played magnificently. He played the game plan a lot differently, and it clearly worked out for him because the risk reward greatly favored him. Didn't take risks, he understood Falcon's limitations, and he capitalized on moments where he could take advantage rather than risking 50-50s. And so I was very impressed with PewPewU's play, and I think this is gonna set a trend for PewPewU to not have a guaranteed loss to Falcon anymore. I think he's gonna keep it close. Of course, Falcons are really good today. They are doing a lot of things to increase their chances to win. They are researching, they are labbing it up at their homes to see what they can do.
And of course, players like SUJ and Nunn are very strong, so I'm not gonna say it's free for PewPewU, but at least PewPewU is on the path to improving in the matchup from a fundamental level.
And I think it's a positive swing for PewPewU, who continues to improve and impress me. I hope you guys enjoyed that analysis. If you guys want to see more Super Smash Bros. Melee coverage, then tune into Yahoo Esports.